Vivek Ramaswamy joins me now. It's been a minute. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, Chris.
Of course, you can say whatever you want about what I said off the top, but specifically to what's happening in Cincinnati, what do you think it is about, and why does it deserve the angle you have taken on it?
Well, look, Cincinnati is my hometown. It's where I was born and raised, and obviously it's an important city in the state that I'm running to lead. And in my book, Chris, this isn't actually about race. This is about people in their country and in their city just feeling safe when they go out to have a good time in the city, which is something that people across races and, frankly, across political parties ought to be unified on, and I think we are unified on. But the sad reality is Cincinnati is a place where it wasn't what it once was. Crime has been up year on year. And I think it's true across so many of the cities in our country as well, in part related to national currents like defund the police several years ago, an anti-cop culture that I do think has permeated much of our country, so many of our cities, that I'd like to turn around in the state of Ohio. So I want a Cincinnati where people are able to come together, to be able to go to their city, have a good time without fear of getting beaten up or assaulted. And I think what we saw on Friday night did shock the conscience. I think there are some reasonable questions to be asked, like why wasn't there a greater police presence that night with a national music festival, with sports games in that area of Cincinnati? I do that not to blame anybody, but hopefully to chart a better course for the future where we are able to restore law and order. And frankly, I don't care what political party you're in. I want you to be safe in our cities. And that's the way I'd like to lead our state.
I agree with you about the culture shift towards policing. And it's regrettable, and I don't know what to do about it. I don't agree as much about the basis of concern because I'm looking at graphs that show crime basically flat in Cincinnati and Cleveland. So I don't really see a scourge of crime, and especially with high-value crimes. And 5 of the last 6 governors are Republicans. So, you know, how is this a Democrat problem? How is it a crime problem?
Well, look, I didn't mention the word Democrat, but I did say it's a part of a defund the police movement that exists in a fringe of the Democrat Party. We can go to the politics of it later. I do want to talk about crime because you brought up an interesting point. I actually talked to police even earlier this week, someone from the Fraternal Order of Police, just on Monday of this week, about this question as a macro matter. Absolute crimes maybe not have really gone up, maybe have stayed flat. But what he tells me and what police across the state tell me is that the character of the crime, the nature of violent crime has actually gotten much worse. And if you look at even the city of Cincinnati today, the hard statistics, well, the nature,
Vivek,
even if the absolute number of crimes are flat, the violent crimes have gone up. So the nature of the violence of the crimes has increased. And in part, if you just look at hard statistics, Chris, because I know you're a numbers guy as well. In the city of Cincinnati today, you have a 1 in 137 out of 137 people chance of facing some type of violent crime. And I just think that's too high. So what's the answer? Look, I've gotten messages from friends, fellow high school classmates across greater Cincinnati saying this is an issue that people haven't felt comfortable talking about. We need to talk about it in the open. And I, like you, do believe that open dialogue is part of our path forward as a country. That's why on Monday night, I'm going back to my hometown. We're hosting Open Dialogue. It's a former vice mayor of the city that's co-hosting it with me, who happens to have also been a 10-year president of the Cincinnati chapter of the NAACP. And we're going to have an open dialogue. I want to hear all perspectives. And politically, I don't care whether you agree with me on other issues or not. I want the best solutions for how we're able to restore law and order, how we're able to ensure people just feeling a greater sense of safety when they go into the city. I hope that unites us. I think those are common sense solutions that the people of our state and definitely the people of Cincinnati deserve. I've reached out to the mayor. I want to hear from everybody. I don't care what political party you're in. That's what it's going to take, I think, to solve some of these practical problems.
What do you say quickly? No, you say it as fast as you want, but to your old Doge brother who definitely wanted to make this about race and said that it's not getting coverage because their victims are white. I mean, for a genius, I don't know why this guy says dumb shite like this on such a regular basis, but do you want to echo that, or do you want to correct it as an assertion? Not that you own what Elon says, but you guys are somewhat tacitly connected for my audience.
I'm not even familiar with the comment that you're referring to, so you'd have to kind of educate me on the facts there.
He said that the attack is a racial issue. He asked why there were 0 stories, and he suggested it was because the victims were white.
Yeah, look, I think that there are So I'm focused on Ohio right now. I think there have been some concerning comments in Ohio, one of which, frankly, came from a city councilwoman in Cincinnati, Chris. And you think about that city council, I'm looking at my state, the state I'm looking at leading. That city councilwoman, she posted this publicly. These are approximately exactly her words. They were begging for that beatdown, and she was glad as how it played out. And that did have a racial undertone to it. So I just reject the idea of taking a situation like this and using it to achieve some sort of cultural end. But I do think it's a real issue that we can't sweep under the rug either. And there are some people, I think, who have an issue to say even a bigger problem than the assault is somebody else noticing it. No, I don't think that's acceptable. We can't just sweep this under the rug because it feels uncomfortable to talk about. But I would like to do it in a way that unites people. I did go to Springfield, for example, last fall when there were, let's just say, heightened tempers around Springfield nationally. And I would say the town hall we were able to do in Springfield did help that community, if I may say, at least open the conversations that helped Springfield move forward. That's also in the state I'm aiming to lead. I'm hoping to do the same thing in Cincinnati on Monday. And frankly, I would love to hear from not just people who agree with me, but people who might have creative ideas, even who disagree with me. As long as you care about bringing down crime in our cities and allowing Ohioans to just feel safer, especially in our cities, I'm in favor of whatever your views are, at least hearing them, and let's have that dialogue.
As long as you make it a battle of ideas and not a battle of type or people, the people will be well served by the dialogue, and you're always welcome to have that conversation here. I'll see you going forward. Mr. Ramaswamy.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Absolutely. 4 minutes and 35 seconds. I got